All right, out there, everybody with me? We ready to rock and roll? Kelly, we're looking good. Everything's cool.
Everything's good.
All right, great. All right, well, everybody, welcome to Master the Market, how to close 2023 strong and dominate in 2024. We got some real actionable items for you guys today that can kind of help propel you moving into the end of the year here and then starting your new year off right. Let's go ahead and check in for today's class. Just go ahead, take your phone and scan the QR code. That'll take you to a landing page where you can put in your info and mark that you attended today's class. Just select Master the Market. That is the class that you are taking today. I know some of you have done this before. Some of you are new. So we'll put this up here. We'll also throw this up at the end if anybody comes in a little late and needs a little bit of help. All right. Let's rock and roll. All right. Do a little, some of you guys know me, some of you don't. So we figured we'd throw this one in. We haven't done this before, but a little about me. Right. Hi, how you doing? My name is Greg Parmenter. I'm the Chief Business Development Officer here at Reliant Home Funding. I've got over 20 years of experience in mortgage and real estate, loan officer, branch manager, owner, everything in between. I have a degree in business administration with a concentration in management and a minor in economics from Fordham University. Woo, go Rams. In my volunteer work, I'm executive vice president of the Chaminade Alumni Board, which is a high school that I went to out here on Long Island. I'm currently the committee chair for Scout Troop 339 in Massapequa Park, where my two sons are a life and a second-class scout. Good for them. Some of my personal interests, always fun, right? I love boating, fishing, skiing with the family. And unfortunately for me, I am a Jets and Mets fan. Not so great, right? But hey, the Jets, I guess, still have a shot. We're 4-3, even though the quarterback we brought in got hurt about 2 seconds into the first game. All right, so that's me. Enough about me. Thanks for coming. Happy to have you guys here. Talk a little bit about what we're going to do today, right? So this is our agenda, mastering the market of the moment. All right, we'll get into kind of what the market is right now, and how you can, use some tools that we can show you to kind of, get a little tighter with it, get educated on it, so you can bring that information out to your clients. We're going to get into a little bit about overcoming buyer and seller reluctance, right? A lot of that out there right now, I'm hearing that a lot from the agents. Big for 2024, everybody's got to commit to unlocking their database. Okay, we'll get into a little bit of that database and sphere of influence, what that means and how you need to be using it on a day in, day out basis. And then we'll also give you a few social media content strategies that you can kind of swipe and deploy, right? Just use some of this information that we have, and kind of push your business further, right? So here we go. All right, as we always do, we like to start with a little fun. A little trivia, right? So let's see if you guys could either throw it into the chat. Let me know what you think, true or false. Throw it into the chat. New York, right? True or false? New York requires sellers to disclose that their property is haunted. What do you guys think? Does this sound true or does this sound false? Or a little Halloween trivia for you here on November 2nd. Hopefully everybody had a good time.
Olivia answers true.
Olivia! You nailed it. That is in fact true, right? In a case that made it all the way to the New York State Supreme Court, the law requires sellers to sign a separate disclosure if they do, in fact, believe their property is haunted, right? So this isn't just a Halloween trick. It is, in fact, true. Nice job, Olivia. All right. One more, okay? True or false? 1 in 10 Americans sell their home due to paranormal activity. Ooh. What do we think, guys? Paranormal activity. What do we think? Well, I'll tell you, believe it or not, some people insist that their houses are actually haunted. According to a survey conducted by Zillow, about 1 in 10 Americans have sold their homes due to paranormal activity. This can include experiences such as seeing ghosts or other supernatural beings, hearing strange noises, voices, feeling a presence in the house. Okay, while some people may be skeptical of these claims, for others, the presence of paranormal activity can be a serious, unsettling issue, right? So there's your Halloween trivia for our Master of the Market. Thanks all for playing. I hope you had fun, learned a little bit, right? But here we go. Let's get into the good stuff, right? Mastering the market of the moment is about what you can control. Okay. Let's think about that, right? Which of these things can you guys control out there? Anybody out there control interest rates? Any of you Fed Chairman Powell? No, he's not on the call. Didn't think so, right? You can't control the housing market. You can't control inventory. You can't control inflation, right? You can't control the economy and where it's going, right? So we need to make sure that we're not fixated on that, right? We need to make sure that we're fixated on what we can control, right? And there's three things that we can control: our mindset, our skill set, and our actions, right? Regardless of what market we're in, our mindset, our skill set, and our actions are determined by us, not outside forces, right? It's about what we're doing. All right. The market is the market. That's not going to change because of something you do, but how you respond is what matters, right? It's not about survival of the fittest, right? That's arcane. It's about adaptability, right? It's about the ability to adjust your emotions, thoughts, behaviors to changing situations and conditions, right? Being able to rapidly learn new skills in response to changing circumstances, right? What are three skills to thrive in any market? What do we think? Let's take a look, right? Audience building, right? That's a skill. You have to build your audience, right? You have to get out and talk to people. You have to engage people with conversations and ideas, content, right? The skill of deal creation, which then comes from that audience building, right? And then obviously the skill of deal conversion, right? That's what we all love, right? Is our deal conversion right here in the end, right? That means we're at the closing table, right? We got there. So these are the skills that we need, okay? Well, let's get into a little bit about what is the market of our moment, right? What's the market currently? What's going on right now, right? And then how do we use that to drive our conversations? So the market of the moment right now, pretty simple, right? For most of us, for most of you guys out there, it's low inventory, right? Higher rates than we've been used to, and definitely a lot of uncertainty, right? What's happening with the housing market? What's going to happen with the economy? You know, where are rates going? What's going on with this war? You know, a lot of uncertainty out there. So how do we clarify this, right? How do we shape our conversations to a positive way, right? There's a few things that this market requires, right? It's really not even just this market, but let's think about what they are, right? First, you have to understand the market, right? You have to be a student of your profession. If you're a real estate agent, your value is in your knowledge, right? Your value is in how you can help people. So you need to understand what's happening in the market. You know, but more than understanding, you have to have a plan, right? You can very well know what's happening in your local market or nationally or wherever you may, you know, list or bring buyers. But if you don't have a plan of action, it all goes to the wayside, right? You have to get engaged. What do we mean by getting engaged? We mean conversations, right? Connections. You know, however you want to do that. If you want to do that on social, you want to do it on phone call, right? In-person meetings, whatever it is, you have to be engaged in the market. You have to be engaged with your audience. You have to be building your audience, right? And finally, you just have to embrace the suck, right? I'm sure some of us have heard this before, right? We know that it might be a little bit tougher out there in the market, but that really shouldn't mean anything regarding how you view yourself and how you're going to push forward, right? So just embrace what's out there and move forward, okay? Here's a good question you can ask yourselves, right? Let's ask ourselves, right? Even me, right? Are we a student of the market, right? Are you a true student of the market? Because you need to be, right? I would say most agents know what's happening, right? Most agents out there we speak to, and I know you guys are always talking to your fellow agents out there. You know, a lot of you, right? We know what's happening, right? But good agents understand what's happening, right? They actually know what's happening and then kind of why it's happening, right? But the great agents, right, this is what's going to separate us as good agents from great agents, is we can explain what's happening, right? So not only do we have the knowledge, we understand that knowledge and why things are happening, and then we can articulate that out to our clients, right, or our potential clients, right? That's where we want to get, right? That's what we want to help you kind of achieve today, is one step closer to being a great agent that can explain what's happening, right? So let's take a look at some things here about the current market, right? Traditionally, housing inventory is between 2.5 million since 1982, right? That's this line right here. You see it whipping through, right? That's your mean. During the peak of the housing bubble, right? 2006, 7, 8, right? For those of us who were around, inventory was 4 million homes. Today, it's around 1.08 million, right? See that decline? Inventory's gone down, right? So what does that normally mean, right? Some people say, oh, well, things are crashing, right? The housing market's going to garbage. Well, interestingly enough, existing home prices are up 3.9% year over year, right? And that's with mortgage demand at near 21st century lows. So how is that possible, right? Simple answer. Too many people chasing too many homes, right? Lack of inventory. So even though we had a little dip here, and this is a national number, right? Directly taken from NAR. Look how quickly, boom, right back up, right? 3.9%, which is typically what we see, right? 3 to 4% annual appreciation. Okay. So while that inventory is a little lower, demand's a little lower, what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at some local market data, right? This is from Suffolk County, New York, okay? Our headquarters is in Suffolk County, right on the border of Nassau and Suffolk County on Long Island here in New York. So we pulled some data here, right? You guys can get this data too for your own county. We can help you find it, simple Google searches and using your tools, you should be able to find this stuff. But, some of us may look at this slide and say, oh no, the sales are down 20% month over month, right? The better approach, I think, would be to say, wow, over 1,000 homes sold in my market last month, right? How many did I get? Right? Could I get one of those 1,031? Could I get 2? Could I get 5? I'm sure nobody out there thinks that that's impossible, right? This is just one county. Most of the realtors up here on Long Island, right? If they do Nassau, if they do Suffolk, they'll do Nassau also. Another 800 and something homes there, right? So the opportunity is there, right? The sales are there. There's business there. You just need to capture it other than somebody else, right? You need to be the one who's mastering the market. Remember, we talked about understanding the market, right? How do you understand the market? You use the data available to you to inform your clients and serve them through knowledge, right? Here's a great data point, right? Check this out. 65% of the homes in Suffolk last month, September, sold in under 30 days, right? You can see here, here's that key takeaway, right? Many homes in Suffolk County are selling fast. If you're buying, plan to act quickly, right? So you're looking at this data. How can you use this data when speaking with potential buyers and sellers, right? Anybody have any ideas out there? Anybody want to give their feeling? How could you potentially, right? If you're an agent in Suffolk County, how could you use this data when you're talking to buyers or sellers, right? How can you prepare them for the reality of what's going on, right? Maybe if you're taking out a buyer, you show them this graph and you say, hey, 65% of homes are going in under 30 days. You're going to have to act quick, right? This is not the market where there's an open house, you go to it, and then you wait 7 days to make an offer. Right? Not the case. Houses are selling too quick for that. Here's the data to prove it, right? Show them what you know and help them understand it as you explain. Same thing here with asking price versus sold price, right? Another great data point. Again, how do we use this data set to properly set expectations and educate our clients about the market they're about to enter, right? It's well known that people buy and sell with emotion, but when they have the information to help them make logical choices, right? Because now they understand what's going on, right? They're more comfortable with their decisions and they appreciate the people or the person, hopefully you, who helped them learn, right? Who kind of opened up their eyes, who taught them what the market was about, right? That is your value in this proposition, guys, as an agent, right? You need to be looking at data. You need to be a student of the market, right? Understand that market so you can explain it. That's what makes you a trusted advisor, right? And that's what gets you referrals. Remember, understanding your market is more than just having a feeling, right? Or saying, oh, it's a seller's market, it's a buyer's market. You need to invest the time in yourself to seek out actual data and let that data help guide you and your clients when navigating the market, right? We don't want to do things willy-nilly, right? What did we say in the beginning, right? We have to have a plan, right? So we don't want to just be shooting from the hip. We want an actual plan, actual data that can help inform our potential clients' decisions, right? That's where your value comes in, right? So overcoming buyer-seller reluctance, right? What are home buyers doing right now? Waiting, right? A lot of them are waiting, right? We see the mortgage applications are down, right? Why? They're waiting. Soaring costs of push pending home sales down 13% from a year ago. Total number of homes for sale is down 16%. These are national numbers. As many homeowners say put to keep their relatively low mortgage rates, right? So what can you do to help get past some of that reluctance, right? If you meet somebody, oh, I don't think I'm going to do it now. I don't know, rates are high. I don't know what's going on. What can you talk to them about? Well, I think you need to drive home why it's a good time to buy with actual data, right? And here's an example that one of our people put together. This just happens to be for data for Clark County, Nevada, right? Cool little cost of waiting chart here, right? Show a potential buyer who wants to wait what the numbers bear out, right? In this example, even with the interest rates falling, right? They've got 6.75 to start. It's a little low for today, unfortunately. Right? But then moving forward, we say, okay, it's going to go down, right? Let's just assume that they're right when they say it's going to go down. Even with the interest rates falling in the next 3 years, the mortgage payment is less today than it will be in 3 years after the price goes up, right? Not to mention, this is what you miss out on by waiting, right? With the average appreciation over in Clark County over time, if you wait 3 years to buy, you gave up on almost $70,000 worth of appreciation, and you would have paid your mortgage down by $15,000 and change just in principal. You willing to give up $82,000 because you think that maybe somehow it's going to be better in the future? Right? If people can see this data, if you can show this to a potential buyer, how powerful can that be? Right? And that's what you need to do. All right. Some of us might use little rent to buy scenarios, right? Here's an example. Anybody out there? Any of you guys use something like this? Right? You think that could be something that would be helpful? I'm sure it would. Right? Buyers, right? They're waiting. Oh, I don't know. I'm waiting. What are sellers doing? They're watching. Right? They're watching the market. They're sitting on low mortgage rates, right? Almost 71% of mortgage rates are less than 4% right now, right? So you say, well, who sells then? Who sells in this market, right? Oh, they're less than 4, rates are 7, 8. Well, I'll tell you who, the truly motivated, that's who, right? And it's your job to find them, right? People with life events, etc. But even holding that aside, right? Oh my gosh, 71% of mortgage rates, less than 4%. What am I going to do? No one's ever going to sell again. Take a look at this, guys. Again, almost 70% of Americans are sitting on tremendous equity, right? They've got their mortgages paid off in full, or they owe less than 50% of what their house is worth, right? So who else might sell? How about the people that have no mortgage or a low balance, right? The effect of moving to a higher rate doesn't really sting them as much, does it, right? If they're paid off, maybe they take a small loan for a downsized house or, or an upgrade. Same thing with the people who have a lot of equity in their house, right? That sting is as much, right? They're out there, right? Don't feed into the negativity that you see in the news or, some other agent is telling you because they're down on their luck, right? Act, right? Look at the real data, right? Think about this for a minute, right? And how you can, right? We see that shift from a negative feeling to a positive feeling, right? So this chart actually will show you back in 2022, December, right? What the NBA, what Zillow, what Goldman Sachs, right? What they were forecasting was going to happen to home prices. Oh, negative 1%, negative 4. Goldman Sachs had -5 to -10%. And look where their forecast is now, right? 2 months to go. Not one of them is forecasting a negative number because that's not what bared out, right? So we have to be careful when we're talking to potential clients, when we're talking to our sphere, about what's being said out there, right? Let's really drive home actual data and take the assumptions out of it, right? The 5-year forecast is now positive, right? This is what we expect home appreciation to be over the next 5 years, 3, 2, 3, 3, 4, right back to normal, right? Obviously, a housing market where houses are going up 20% a year, it's not sustainable, right? So it went way up, came down a little bit, and now we're settling in, right? This is normal. This is average, 3 to 4% year over year, right? You get some pops here and there, right? But how can you use this data when talking with prospects, right? Hey, listen, this is what's expected to happen. Get in now, act now. I don't think any of us out there would tell a potential home buyer, especially let's say a first-time home buyer, hey, it's not a good time to buy, right? We all understand the wealth creation, right? And a lot of the wealth creation in this country came from real estate, right? Maybe they're the first one buying in their family, and 50 years from now, that house will still be in the family, right? But they got to start sometime. Help them feel confident, right? Because in times of uncertainty, people seek context to help them make sense of what's going on, right? So they can feel more confident about their decisions, right? And that's what you need to do as a realtor. You need to help them feel confident. You need to give them the data to back it up. You need to help them make logical decisions so their assumptions and their emotions don't overrun the conversation, okay? Let's get into a little nitty-gritty now, right? Unlocking your database, right? This is what you need to start doing if you're not doing it already, all right? Talk about your database and your sphere of influence here, right? Anybody know Tom Ferry, podcast guy? And for those of us up here in New York, if you've been logging onto the MLS Stratus system or One Key, he's had some advertisements up there, right? Why is working your database so important? Right? Well, Tom Ferry says your database can generate a 10% yield, right? Who'd like to earn 10% on their money? Right? I'm getting 5% right now in a money market and I'm like thrilled, right? So what about 10%, right? It'd be bananas, right? So for every 7 to 10 people in your database, that can equal one transaction, right? What is your database? What's the purpose of having it, right? And it's super important. Can't stress it enough. If you don't have a database, if you don't have a CRM, right, a client management system, you need to get one, right? If you need help with it, definitely reach out. But your database is the people that you're going to market to, right? Contact, connect with, provide value to, and over time, right? Not necessarily immediately, but over time, cultivate relationships with, right? Why are we doing this, right? Why do we have a database? Why do we build it? Why do we maintain it? The NAR's home buyer and seller trends report shows that 41% of all sellers found their agent from their own sphere of influence, whether that was a friend, a relative, a neighbor, right? Or is within the agent's own sphere of influence as a friend, relative, or neighbor, right? 41%, huge number. Yet, only 26% of sellers are using the same agent they previously used to buy or sell their home. Well, that's odd. 41% of people are getting referred to someone that they don't currently know, let's say, and they use them. but only 26% are using the person they used last time. What does that mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means as a group, we're not doing enough to keep that business after closing. This is a direct result of not having a proper database and a plan of attack to engage that database, stay top of mind, and get that repeat business back. Right? Again, what we see from the top agents is a higher repeat rate with past clients on future transactions. Right? That's because they have a database. They're staying engaged. Let's take a look at it this way, right? Let's do a little bit of math here, okay? So let's say we're thinking about a 10-to-1 conversion ratio, right? 100 people in our sphere of influence database. We want to contact them about 40 times annually. Like, oh my God, it's a whopping 4,000 touches. I could never do that. Yes, you can, right? Some of it's going to be automated, right? Maybe some text drip campaigns, some automated emails, postcards that you guys get set up, right? I know everybody loves the little postcards that go out, right? But it's got to be everything. 40 annual touches. 100 people at that 10% annual conversions ratio is 10 more closed transactions, right? Show of hands out there. Would anyone like an additional 10 closed transactions in the next 12 months? How about 5? Cut it in half, right? All right, we have a plan for you to help get there, okay? Let's check it out. Right, being consistent with calling your database is a matter of time management and math. That's all it is, right? Let's say you have 100 people in your database. You plan to call them each 4 times a year, right? Real simple, once a quarter. Not too crazy. That means you're making 400 total calls to your database per year, right? 100 people, 4 times a year, 400 calls, right? You guys with me? Are we following? Assume a 5-day work week, okay? Whatever, you don't work on weekends. I know you do, but we'll just assume a 5-day anyway, right? 250 business days per year. So to call your entire database of 100 people 4 times a year, it means you have to call 2 people a day, right? Monday through Friday for the entire year to achieve your goal, right? Does this make sense? Not so daunting when you look at it like this, is it? Right? 1.6 calls per day. Anybody out there think they can't achieve that? Right? I know we're talking about calls, but remember the goal is not just calls, but conversations. So yeah, you might have to call 3, 4, 5, 10 people. Get to your 2 conversations per day. Right? That's how you're going to get through your database. And listen, the bigger your database is, the more people you call, the more opportunity you have. Right? So don't just stop at 100. If you have more, engage them all. Here's a little method, right? This is Tim Smith with Coldwell Banker. His personal production's over 500 million. His number one success secret is, and it's not a secret, obviously, because we're telling you. When you call your database, add new people, and have conversations, good things happen, right? Simple, right? Keep it simple, right? When you call your database, and you add new people, and you have conversations, good things happen, right? Here's Tim's daily action plan with an emphasis on conversations, right? That's what he's trying to drive day in, day out conversation. He calls it the 5-5-4-2 plan, right? So every day he commits himself to 5 conversations with people that you know, right? Whether they're past clients or sphere of influence. 5 conversations with people you don't know. Right? New leads, whether that's your lead generation system or people that have been referred to you that you haven't contacted yet, right? 4 conversations with lead follow-ups. These are people that you've connected with, leads, whatever, in the past, but maybe that you haven't done business with them yet, right? But you've talked to them, right? Your follow-ups. And then 2 videos per week minimum, right? 2 videos a week. You got to get some content out there. Right? So the 5-5-4-2 plan got this guy to 500 million. And it's obviously not rocket science. It's just about dedicating yourself to do the action, right? We're giving you some blueprints here so that you can go out and actually act on them and build your business, right? That's what we want, right? Come up with some scripts. Right, here's just a sample. Oh, hey, I'm calling because my database is, I'm updating it. I noticed I was missing some contact info, right? It doesn't have to be earth-shattering stuff. You don't even have to write it yourself. For those of you that were at my ChatGPT class, you saw how we could use ChatGPT to make this, right? We'll be having another one of those classes in the coming weeks for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. It's pretty wild, right? Easy enough. Again, set up your buyer text messages, right? Hey, out of curiosity, have you been following the housing inventory trends over the past couple of weeks? Good news is that it's risen, right? You can put anything in there, really. The point is to engage, right? Here's another one that we love that's been getting a lot of action, right? Super simple. Text his estimate to past clients, right? I'm sure we all know and love this estimate, and it gives me fits for sure. Right, but that's not the point. The point is, right, take your top 5 past clients, grab a screenshot of their estimate for their home, and just text it to them. Hey, I've got my thoughts on this, but what do you think? I guarantee you that is going to drive conversation. They're going to come back and say either, oh, it's too high, it's too low, right? You can complain about this estimate, you can tell them you love it, whatever it is, but you get that conversation going, right? Now you're back to top of mind. People are still buying, people are still selling. You need to make sure that when they're thinking about doing that, they're thinking about you because you called them 4 times this year. You sent them your newsletter, right? You have your videos being posted. You're texting. Right? Let's talk about some of those email campaigns that you can send your database, guys. It's almost unlimited, right? The email newsletter, simplest form of email marketing, right? I'm sure some of us know a lot of people who do this great. The purpose of the newsletter is to provide expert content your readers can count on, right? And to keep your services top of mind for potential new clients. Just like print newsletters, right? Set up some emails to go out, set a frequency such as weekly, monthly, What are we talking about? Most commonly, they're sharing the latest listings, upcoming events, latest real estate trends in your area, recent blog posts, summary of your blog, renovation tips, client stories, right? These are just some content ideas for you. Right? Make it your own. Do what you like. What are you interested in when it comes to real estate, right? Do you love unique properties? Showcase them. Right? One of the easiest and most popular newsletters you can send as an agent is the market update. Right? Data, inform, teach. There's a little value in just sending them generic market information, right? You need to add your own personal hot take that puts that information into context for them and helps increase your trust with your followers, right? Quick hit. 1 to 3 minute videos is the perfect way to do it, and anybody can do this. Anybody can do it. You can do it. If you're thinking you can't, you can. And it doesn't take as much time as you would think. Right? Here's a cool little idea, right? The annual equity review, right? This is John out in Arizona. He actually sends a happy anniversary equity review video to his past clients, and it's a great way to engage and ideally reinforce the smart decision to buy, right? And get you in front. It's very similar to something that we laid out in our 90-day CMA class a couple weeks ago, right? But let's just take a look.
Hey Jane, it's John. I just wanted to shoot you this quick video message to say happy home anniversary. It's been 4 years since you bought your home over on Banana Street, and I hope it's been an amazing home for you guys. But in the meantime, I just want to say congratulations because without a doubt, over the past 4 years, you guys have done incredibly well.
Right? So can we see how that's cool? Right? You don't have to do it like he does it, but it's a simple idea. Every year you should be doing this for all your clients, right? Send it over to them. Give them an idea of what's going on. Congratulate them, right? It's exciting. They're in the house. Keep that connection going. Real simple. Right? And if you want to see how to do some of this stuff, you can hop on our YouTube channel. Check out the 90-day CMA class that we have there. We get into it pretty hard. right? We show you exactly how to do things like this. You can obviously always contact me, right? We can get you in touch with some of the guys here, and we can, help with it, right? But right, so good strategy, John, right? But here's the key to the strategy, right? Which it always is: follow up. Sending a follow-up text message regarding the video and asking for an appointment, right? A follow-up call. Hey, I emailed you guys over a video. When do you have time to meet up? You'll be surprised how many people will say yes, right? Or engage you in a conversation. Right? Here's another quick example of a message to follow up on leads who are waiting for the market to shift, right? Hey there, John. Before you make up your mind about your housing plans this year, we want to inform you that the current inventory of home sales is ticked up, right? Even if it went down, you can say it went down, right? Just inform them. Give them some information. Okay? Right, let's get into a little bit more about database and sphere of influence and how we can kind of build that. Right? I'm sure we've seen it a million times, people doing buyer seminar, really first-time buyer home seminars, right? Seen it a billion times. Not as many seller seminars out there, are there? Right? I wonder why that's the case. I guess we just assume that because you're already in a house, you just know everything about the real estate market and what would happen if you need to sell, right? Where first-time home buyers are like, oh my goodness, you're a first-time home buyer, you know nothing, right? Well, here's Maureen Folan, right? She's a top 1% agent in Queens, right? A couple counties over from where we're sitting right now. Let's check out her promo video for her seller seminar.
Hi guys, it's real estate broker Maureen Folan with the Maureen Folan Real Estate Group. I am so excited to invite you to my home seller seminar. We're hosting these seller seminars in my office on Saturday. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? There's a lot of people not sure which way to go. So my job is to put your fears at ease. We're going to discuss all things related to the home selling process from A to Z. We're going to talk about New York City closing costs, capital gains tax, preparing your home for sale to maximize its value. We're going to talk
I got muted there for a second, everybody. Thanks for hanging. Right, but again, nothing there is mind-blowing, right? This is all something that you can do. This is something that we can do. Right? Here's a copy, right, of some of her postcards, her marketing material, right, her email that she sends out, right? What are the key points about these seller seminars? Right? Know your target market. Who are you looking to attract? Okay. She happens to look for older people looking to downsize, right? That's who she's marketing to generally. Adjust your marketing, your location, your content based on who it is that you're trying to attract, right? Provide food because everybody loves to eat, right? And very important is to plan your marketing, right? What are you going to do to get this seller seminar off the ground, right? Postcards, video, email, social media, right? Sending out evites. These are all things that you can do right now, right? What are the talking points of these seminars, right? Is something that you can do, right? You can discuss market conditions. When's the best time to sell? Closing costs, as is versus fixed up. Interest rates impact on the market, where the market is heading the next 6 to 12 months. As long as you're bringing information and people are there to listen, you're positioning yourself as that trusted advisor, and they're going to think about you when it's time to sell. Oh man, they had all this great info for me. And I happen to love the sandwiches that they had. Right? And again, what's the key? Right? Just like with the 5542, with anything, it's the follow-up. Right? It's that consistent action. Send a personalized video thank you the next day to each person who attended. Right? Call the attendees the morning after. And obviously ask for the appointment, right? You're never going to get the business unless you ask for it. Seems simple enough, but how many of us don't do it on a day in, day out basis? Just to give you guys a little bit of info on her results, right? So from these selling seminars, between January and August of this year, she got 15 new listings worth 18 million in sales. And more importantly to me, is she added 250 sellers to her database, right? 250 potential sellers to her database, right? What does that mean? If we think about that 10% conversion ratio we were talking about earlier, that's, potentially 25 more listings next year. Amazing, right? And it's not rocket science. It's nothing that you guys can't do, right? So is that good? You guys think that that's good, right? Good performance? What if it was only 5 listings? Still good, right? Is this something you could do? More importantly, will you do it? Right? Challenge yourself. All right, let's get into a little bit of social media and some content strategy here, guys. Some stuff that you can swipe and deploy, right? You can take these and run with it immediately, right? You need to be thinking about what are you the expert of, right? What are you the authority on? Are you a reload specialist? Are you a buy side? Are you a lister? Like what are you the authority of? Put that out there, right? Here's some ideas, right? Simple stuff, right? Post about your specialty. Are you a reload specialist? Post about it. Are there causes you support? Post about it. Are there events and local happenings you find interesting? Big shocker, what's coming next? Post about it, right? Get yourself out there. Maybe you're not on social media. Maybe you need to be, right? What did we say before? Adaptability. You need to be able to change. You need to be able to grow, right? It almost doesn't even matter what you post as long as it's you being real and opening up an opportunity to have a conversation, right? Check out these 3 agents, right? Ty is telling you about a tip for potential rental property. Jesse's talking about the challenges of being in a seller's market. Allison's just putting up there that she doesn't like taking pictures when she's 37 weeks pregnant. But I guarantee you she had people write back and start conversations. Be real. Put yourself out there. Right, here's the JFK Living Group over in New Jersey, right? Again, involving their clients in the client stories, creating amazing social content and credibility, right? It builds your credibility. People see you out there. They see your clients smiling and happy, right? Plus the whole time they're having fun with their clients, right? That's in their brand DNA, right? Anybody out there think that they can't do this, right? This isn't something that you could do? Put it into action, right? Well, you got to remember with social media, right? It's a little different. It's about connection before conversion, right? It's about cultivating the relationship, right? It's not about posting something and instantly getting a listing. It's about creating a conversation, getting people to know you, right? Making sure that you're top of mind, providing good value. All right. I think we need to ask ourselves, right? Are we average? Right? Are you average? Am I average? Right? What does that mean? Well, I can tell you, for us, the average agent or loan officer makes calls when they feel like it, right? They have no set plan. They complain about hating social media. Hate it all you want. It's real. It's happening, and people are getting buyers and sellers out of it. And if you are not, they're taking your clients, right? The average agent or loan officer, they don't reinvest their commissions, right? They just take it, go buy a new pair of shoes. They're not taking additional education, right? They're not paying for services maybe to get the data that can help drive conversations, right? They always assume their sphere of influence will be loyal, right? So they're not reaching out enough. They're shocked when a former client, they find out, buys a house with someone else. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you were making your 40 touches a year, you'd be shocked, but you probably didn't call them for the last 2 years. I don't know, shouldn't be shocking, right? That's what the average agent's doing, the average loan officer, right? They're blaming the rates, they're blaming the market. They're letting a negative mindset dictate what their actionable daily activities are. Can't let it happen, right? But when we think about top performers, right? Think about the top performers in your office, in the industry, right? Or even just ideally, right? They're prospecting daily, every day, right? They're making their calls, they're sending their emails, they're posting. They have a clear plan. On Monday, I do this. On Tuesday, I do this. On Wednesday, I do this. At 8 o'clock, I do that, right? Structure your day, structure your week, structure your month. They embrace social media. They actually do reinvest their commissions, right, on useful services and products that can help them grow and help them build. You're running a business. It might be just yourself, but you are your business, right? No business just grows without any money, without putting time and effort in, right? They actively engage with their sphere of influence. They adjust to market conditions and they take action, right? The bottom line is the market that we're in now requires all of us to be on our A game, right? I think we can all agree on that, right? I think we have an idea of what our A game can be, right? We showed you some tools here of what you can do to get on your A game, but it's up to you, Go do it. Right? Engage with us, You want help with something? Give us a call, right? We can definitely help you. We can point you in the right direction, kick off some ideas, right? So what do we go through today? Mastering the market of the moment, right? We talked a little bit about the market, right? What's going on, right? Low inventory, uncertainty, all that, How can we then overcome some buyer and seller reluctance by knowing the market, right? And understanding it and mastering it, right? What are we doing there? We talked about unlocking our database, and I can't express this enough, right? The number one thing that you need to do is build your database. If you do not have a comprehensive database set up of sphere of influence people, everybody you know, all of your past clients, people you've worked with before, you need to get on that immediately, right? Because that data is so valuable, you will never know, right? Until you start closing more and more because you're kind of putting some of these things into place. We also talked a little bit social media content strategy, right? Gave you a few ideas there, right? And we've got plenty more, all right? So I guess the question is, was this valuable, right? Was any of this valuable to you today? Did you find 1, 2, 5, 10 things from this that you could actually implement right now, right? Ask yourself, what's the first idea you want to implement, right? Are you open to some help? If you need it, we're here for you. All right. Don't hesitate to reach out. Day in, day out, we're here. All right. That's all we got. Hopefully you guys had a good time. Thanks for coming. I know I enjoyed getting out some information to you. And as we do at the end of the class, we will always open it up to some questions. So if anybody wants to chat or say anything, rock and roll. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Greg. How are you?
I'm good, man. How's everything over there in Jersey?
It's good. It's good. Trying to deal with the crazies.
All the time.
So, no, it's good. This is excellent. Is there a way we could share the screenshots? They were really good. I have taken some pictures, but
yeah,
that would be great. I mean, it's really,
if you guys
really great information.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure you're checking for the class so we have you there. Obviously, Dave, I know you're there, right? But we also post, right, and this will be posted, after Kelly does her thing. We put up the classes will be on our YouTube channel as well. So if you ever want to reference it, Reliant Home Funding YouTube channel, we've got the previous classes on there. I'm going to have to do the ChatGPT one again, Dave, because I didn't tape that one. There was an error.
Oh, okay.
But luckily you were there, right?
I was.
But
great.
We'll have that stuff all online for you so you guys can reference it anytime, But anything specific, always just reach out. Reach out to Mello, reach out to me, whatever you need.
You just reminded me, we've been working on our newsletter, and I just forgot about it, and now we have to work on that. I want to start doing monthly newsletters to clientele.
Yeah, you got to bring it back in, right? There's always something that's pulling us away, right? And it's hard as humans to keep that focus, right?
Yes.
On what we really need to do. So, I'll do it tomorrow. But then this thing happened. But then this thing happened. Hey, give yourself a plan, commit to yourself, right? Write down what you're going to do and follow it, right? That's what success looks like. That's what'll drive you there, right? Obviously, when I'm not just talking to Dave here, right? That's for me, right? That's for everybody on the call. Really outline what you're going to do and then do it. It's that simple, right? The number one thing that holds us back is ourselves, right? It's not the market. It's not our sphere of influence. It's us, right? Are we doing the actions day in and day out? They're going to take us where we want to go, right? Are you doing the actions day in, day out that will take you where you want to go, right?
Absolutely.
You did something right today, right? You're on the call. You're trying to learn. You're trying to become more of a student, right? Learn some things, get some new content, right? So everybody on the call, great job. But what are you going to do next? That's what really matters, right? You can watch, right? You can come to every class that we do. You can watch the videos. And then if you roll over to your couch, and put on Judge Judy, nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get more clients. You're not going to close more. You have to actually think about what you want to do moving forward and how you're going to put these into place, right? So let's all kind of commit to ourselves. And again, I really appreciate everybody coming. And, we'll be announcing the next class within the next couple of days. I might do the ChatGPT again. We'll try to sneak in a business planning for 2024 by the end of the year. I think that'd be really helpful as we kind of set our mindset looking forward to 2024 and what we want to achieve and how we're going to achieve it. But again, can't thank you guys enough for coming, and I'll see you next time. Take care, everybody. Keep closing.